We are live, Locked On Mavericks and a dog. What's up, everybody? We're going to wait a little bit for some people to get in here, then we'll actually start the podcast. Isaac's going to sing a little. We always get notes. We always get like DMs and stuff when we do sing or anything. When we sing or anything.
Oh, we should do a duet.
The sun will come out tomorrow.
My dog's looking at me on the floor like, there's no way I'm getting up. Oh, here we go.
What up? We got people in the chat.
Are they? Are they in the chat?
What's up from Fort Worth? Oh, this was the guy from last week with the friends in the triangle. Little Perusio.
Little Perusio.
What up, everybody?
Colton
we got people in here.
Colton said, "Good morning, Isaac."
Henry. Heck yeah.
Henry. Wait, is that the Henry? Is that LeBron Henry?
We're helping him put off his studying. That's what we're for. We're a distraction for everybody.
Bruce, my man, I was in Irving today. Where you work, bro? Unless you don't want to put it on the YouTube chat.
Hey, I just want to let everybody know we are at 6.9 thousand subscribers.
Nice.
6.9K. Crazy. What up, everybody? Elijah, what's up? Lil Perusio said I totally botched that whole story, but we remembered. I remembered because I couldn't think of how to pronounce your name in the moment, so I just skipped it. What up? Bruce is at a double. Oh, he said he's in a DoubleTree hotel. I guess he's there.
Oh, maybe he works there.
That's what you asked him. Yeah, but I thought he was just saying he's holed up in a.
Let's go.
Let's go. 6.9K.
We're helping you get through your shift at work.
Dang,
surely it's not too busy on a Wednesday night.
Colton just said someday y'all 69K. That'd be nuts.
Hey, someday. I like the way Colton thinks.
Everything that happened in our what if would have to happen. Like yesterday would have to happen for us to get there, I think.
Yes.
Oh man. All right, so got some people
take that angle to it. What would happen to us?
We did at the end. We were like, we would have the time of our lives. That's kind of where we landed. We're like, oh man, it'd be great for us. All right, we'll tweet this out a little bit. Get some more people in here, hopefully. Get some questions.
I mean, you had to take forever, so
it's true. This is my fault. We can't blame this on Isaac's kids today.
Yesterday, I was gonna say, my kids can't get the blame for everything.
Yesterday, we can blame it on Isaac's kids. So we'll just wait for a couple more people to get in here, and then we will get started with the mailbag. So if you want to start putting in questions, go ahead and start putting in questions.
Start throwing in the Mavs questions, NBA questions.
And I will change the description because it's still on the Cowboys.
Really?
Yes.
Who wants to talk about the Cowboys? They going to a game this year?
A game?
You know what I was thinking about? I was thinking how when we have disagreements on the pod, we should have a board bet board that constantly lives with random things. Because I think we differ on the Cowboys season. So
like stuff, yeah, just anything we disagree with.
Yeah, just random stuff. So right now, let's put a point total or a win total. The Cowboys season. What are you comfortable about saying? Are you like 10.5 over under?
Oh, 10.5. Well, okay, there's 17 games this year.
Yeah.
But 11 wins.
11-6.
I'd have to go under, but so would you. You give me 9.5. I think.
Wait,
I might go.
You're
over.
saying you would pick under? I thought the other day you were like, "Oh, this team's going to win a lot of games."
Yeah, 9 is a lot.
That Locked On NFL channel's getting to you.
No, they're down. Everybody's down on the Cowboys there.
Okay.
All right, we'll get started. Everybody send in questions because it's a light group today. We got to do a mailbag during Slovenia time. It's like 5:30 a.m. for them right now.
Yeah, and we didn't give anybody any heads up. We just like kind of, hey, just threw it on people right now.
No, but all right. You ready, Isaac?
I don't think I have a choice.
It's true. You're live now. Now the whole world can see if you're ready or not.
Greg, good evening, Greg. I love Greg.
All right, this is how we do it every single week. I go, I'll give a 3, 2, 1. We'll do the intro. We'll do the podcast for 30 minutes. So any of these questions that happens in the next 30 minutes or so will actually be on the podcast. So that will be that, and then we will go to the Locked On Life, love advice, all that kind of good stuff right after that. And so we'll stay live right after that. So that's kind of your bonus content at the end. That's the incentive for coming on here.
Oh, this person said, "How are you beautiful people doing?"
Oh, I'm doing great. Feeling good today.
Heartwarming.
Got to see Jonathan Charks tonight. That was great.
Good old John.
I love hanging out with him.
Love John. All right, Isaac. Ruben.
All right, you ready?
Waiting on
everybody
you.
In the chat ready?
They're
3,
ready.
2. On today's show, we are live on YouTube answering questions. So you know what that means. Anything could happen.
Literally, questions are rolling in on YouTube right now, and somebody just asked about John Wall. So coming up next, we're going to have a great conversation about John Wall.
Build the wall.
Luka Doncic, and this is Locked On Mavericks podcast.
The Dallas Mavericks are NBA champions. Bang! Bang! It's good!
And the Mavericks have won the game!
If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here.
And welcome. You are locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member and coordinator for the Locked On Podcast Network. And joining me, as always, my co-host, writer, contributor at Mavs.com, the live lord, the one we're thinking. What you got for me, Isaac Harris?
Well, as we said at the cold open to this pod, we're live right now on YouTube. Wednesday nights, we go live on YouTube. We're going live kind of late. Like literally, we hit live at like 10:30 at night, Central Time, because, you know, it's not my kids' fault. It's Nick's fault tonight. So we have questions rolling in, and really no new Mavs news at the top. You know, Mark Stout reported the Frank Ntilikina stuff a few days ago. We talked about Ntilikina a lot. I think we need to clarify a little bit something on the roster thing. You tweeted it out today.
Yep.
Maybe now is a good point that we can clarify how the Mavs snuck one in on us there.
Yeah, so the Mavs are getting a little sneaky with some of these announcements. So, but it's been weird. So we'll get into it. We'll talk about it right now because Mark Stein announced that the Mavericks are reportedly going to sign Frank Ntilikina. And so we were thinking, okay, the Mavs, they already announced their training camp roster. They already have 20 guys. They have their 20 spots filled. So where does Frank Ntilikina sit? And we were like, okay, well, they got to get rid of somebody. And I didn't think they were just going to get rid of one of these camp guys because they just signed them. But they had already done that. You and I were talking about this today. The timeline of it was really weird. Like August 21st, they announced the training camp roster with all 20 players. So that's the full 15 players on the roster, plus the two-ways, plus the 3 camp invites. And those guys were all set. Then they waived Nate Hinton, one of the two-way guys on like a week later, basically. They named the roster, then they waived Nate Hinton, and then they signed Ja'Cory McLaughlin that we talked about, about a week later after that. And they slipped in that announcement that they also requested waivers for EJ Onu. So he is not a training camp invite. That was a mistake on our part yesterday. But now he's out. So basically what Frank Ntilikina has is a training camp invite, which is kind of interesting. He's going to have to fight for a spot. And this could be, we've had this before in the past where, Sam Dallenberg is a player on the roster. We're like, oh, he's a veteran. He's going to be on the roster. He's a center. He's, veteran, all that. And then all of a sudden, a guy like Salah Mejri comes in and usurps his spot and takes his spot. We thought he was just a training camp invite, and all of a sudden he has a spot on the roster.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we got to see the details on the deal, before we say like official. A lot of these like training camp invites are just super cheap, and it's like, hey, let's just see what it like the Dennis Smith Jr. to Portland one. That was reported as a training camp deal. We got to see the details on the Ntilikina one. Either way, I think it sets up for a great camp battle between 3 players: Frank Ntilikina, Tyrell Terry, and Trey Burke. Like, that's a fun 3-way battle that who's going to get the third, point guard spot. I mean, I think they can keep two of them on the roster, but what if they go into camp and Ntilikina just absolutely shuts down Tyrell Terry from doing anything? Or what if he shoots it, kind of up to par like Trey Burke on like, catch and shoot threes in camp or preseason or something like that. And you're like, well, dang, let's go. So that's what I'm watching. What does he do to Tyrell Terry and Trey Burke spots?
Or kid wants to lean into the defensive side of things. He's been talking about defense like every new coach on a training camp team does, but he's been leaning into the defensive side and says, all right, let's get Franklin Ntilikina. Plus, Trey Burke was the old guys guy, right? So was Tyrell Terry. We don't know what these guys think about. We don't know what Nico Harrison, Jason Kidd think about Trey Burke or Tyrell Terry. That we know that they like Ntilikina because they just brought him in. So all that stuff we're still not sure on, but let's start getting into some questions. Alex wants to know if Zach LaVine is a realistic free agency target for the Dallas Mavericks. We're doing this again? We're going back into this whole thing where the Mavs are just looking for another star to add. What's the Mavs free agency situation?
I mean, realistic. I don't think he hits the market, right? I mean, that's been one of the biggest things. Even going back to this past summer, we thought this class was going to be a lot bigger than what it was, but what happens? All these names that get thrown out there, then they sign extensions and all the stuff. They're locked up. They don't even hit the free agent market. If you're Chicago, I don't know why you don't pay him the large extension. You just committed all this money to DeRozan and Vooch, Lonzo. So you're obviously going all in. I don't know why you would hand DeRozan that contract and then say, oh, Zach, sorry, it's your time to go. No, you're all in. You've committed to this. So I think he gets paid by Chicago. Now, I mean, I guess you can say, could Dallas trade for him or something like that? I think I could see him getting traded for another really good player, but I don't think he hits the free agent market.
And I think it's important to remember this summer was the last offseason with max cap space because of Luka's extension. Luka signed that massive extension. It kicks in next year. So not this upcoming season, but the season after that. So free agency next summer. Luka is going to be making the most money on the team finally. Right? Finally, he's getting paid his due. He's getting paid $35.7 million. And the Mavericks are at $118 million in guaranteed contracts already next season. So the whole can they get this free agent would have to come from some kind of trade or something like that. I don't think they can just straight up trade, for Zach, or straight up sign Zach LaVine. So Bruce asked a good question here. Can Dallas win the West with KP playing like he did in New York City? This is interesting to me. So what does that mean for KP playing in New York City? Because for me, it's everything we talked about yesterday. It's the defense. His defense has to get back up to he was almost like a really, really good defender in New York. That was almost his calling card. Some people said, I know talking to the Locked On Knicks guys when the Mavs traded for him, listening to guys like Max Kellerman who covered the Knicks during the time that Porzingis was there, that Porzingis was like a defensive monster. He was almost better at defense than he was at offense. And so that seems wild now because of the way he played last season and some of the recency stuff with KP. But if he plays that level, heck yeah, they can win the West if KP's playing like that.
Yeah, you go back to last season, I think people forget how good KP was. This summer when we had Howard Beck on the pod a few weeks ago, I asked him, I was like, hey, can you remind people how good Kristaps Porzingis was in New York, especially before his injury? That season that he tore his ACL, he was just named an all-star, how old was he? He was 22 years old.
Yeah.
Just named an all-star playing for the Knicks that season, averaging 22 points, shooting 40% from three, anchoring the paint and, blocking shots left and right. That was the exciting, he was like a top 15 player when he got hurt. That, he was a big time player in the league. And so, yeah. So can they win the West? Yeah. If KP's playing like he was in New York before he tore his ACL, they can win the West.
Somebody asked me what hair product I use. Just like a paste,
Sweat block.
Just normal. I don't use that on my hair. I guess I'll block it. Okay, another question on KP. Let's go in that same vein. Lil Brucio asks, why can't KP play that Dirk type role at the 4? Not saying you'll fill the shoes, LOL, but seriously, why can't Dirk play that type of role? Offensively, we think he can, right? Offensively, we think that they're going to try to use him in situations like that. Now, Dirk, if you've seen some of these graphics recently, the Kirk Goldsberry, who owned which section of the court during which time, if you do any of those over the last 20 years or so, there's a section of the court that is the, 15 to 18, 20 feet kind of deal, the mid-range, that mid-range shot, that mid-range spot, Dirk owned all of it, like all of it, like all that whole section. And KP can't play like that. That's one of the reasons why he can't play that role, is because Dirk was such a specific player that destroyed the mid-range in a way that was just almost automatic.
Yeah, I mean that was the route I was going to go with that. Like, can you imagine playing with Dirk, but you couldn't throw it to Dirk in the post and say, "Get me a bucket"? Like, then what would Dirk be? Hey, Dirk, go stand in the corner.
He'd be with Dirk, or he'd be old Dirk. But
yeah,
even old Dirk, you could throw the ball to.
I was going to say that's the thing. Even old Dirk could shoot a little fadeaway, and it's like, Dirk, shoot a trailing three, just spot up in the corner, and so yeah, that's the biggest difference in that.
Yeah. So that's the thing with Porzingis. Now, him playing the 4, it's more about defense than it does offense to me. I don't know if you can go out, you can throw him out. You can throw him out there as the 4, and they did for a lot of the regular season. You can get away with it there, but in the playoffs, I don't think you can get away with that. There's just too many good 4s. There's freaking Aaron Gordon is a 4 for the Nuggets. Like, he can't keep up with him. You'd just be losing him backdoor cuts all the time.
I'll say, if he's like he was defensively in this past postseason, no, you definitely can't.
No.
And I mean, how did the Clippers beat Utah? Like, they went small, like
super small. Yeah,
like you got to have that flexibility. And if you're Porzingis, you're gonna have to guard somebody out there. It means if Porzingis is at the 4, that means they have another center on the court with him. And
keep getting in some questions. We'll be answering them. A lot of questions about the Mavs young guys. We'll talk about that. We've talked about this kind of, young core at the end of the Mavs bench. What are the expectations for them? And we'll get into some of those guys like Frank Ntilikina. So we'll talk about that coming up. But before we do, let me tell you about DirecTV Stream. Does this sound familiar? You've got one device that lets you catch the game live, another one that lets you stream your favorite shows. You watch sports highlights on your phone or your iPad or something else. You got all these things just rolling all over the place. DirecTV wants to help simplify that. We all need simplification in our life, and DirecTV Stream has that. It brings your live TV and on-demand favorites. You can watch Olympics, you can watch Slovenia, you can watch all that stuff all together on DirecTV Stream. Get rid of the clutter and the confusion. Get your TV together with DirecTV Stream. You can learn more at directtv.com. That's directtv.com. Compatible device required. Content varies by package. All right, Isaac Harris, let's get into this mailbag. We got a bunch of questions about the Mavericks' younger guys.
I was gonna say, are you keeping up with all these questions? Because I've lost track now.
Let's start with Amir. I'm on it, man. This is I live for this. Amir asked the question: expectations for Mavs young guys. Let's take a look at that young core we've been talking about. Let's just focus on Moses Brown, Josh Green, Frank Ntilikina, Tyrell Terry. What are your expectations for those 4 guys?
Oh gosh, I mean, I think out of those 4, the one that I would expect the most from is Josh Green. I want to see, like, Josh Green's the only one that's been referenced specifically in an introductory press conference about like wanting to develop him and to see what you have in him. They obviously didn't play him in the summer league, coming out of the Olympics. It's like, okay, is he like, do they think he's too good for the summer league? So I just want to see. I mean, I think he probably has the higher expectation that if I had to rank those 4, then it's Moses Brown. But I think I've been a little bit more skeptical about Moses Brown's role. I was gonna say Moses's role, but
Baker Mayfield, Moses's Browns.
But Moses's role in a team, I think I've been a little bit more skeptical about it than Nick. I want to see why he would play, like why he would play over Willie and Dwight and Boban's, like all 4 of these dudes are coming off the bench. I'm not like, I get like why he would, but would Kid in Dallas do that? And
my soapbox again, Isaac.
Ntilikina and Tyrell Terry, they're just kind of like flyers at this point, right? Like, see what I mean. I think Ntilikina probably has a little bit more to offer, like right now, but yeah, I mean, I think the key is I think Josh. I'll say it this way. I think Josh Green's the only one that we should have expectations for. That if he doesn't do like anything this year, we have a rightful place to be like, dang, like they really missed on that. They really didn't like turn Josh Green into anything, to where the other 3 guys, those are just like flyers. Let's just see if they turn into something. Now, obviously y'all can disagree, but that's just where I'm at. Nick, what are you doing?
My dog is freaking out downstairs. Somebody walked by. Excuse me. So my thing with Josh Green is it's a great point. It's the only one we've heard from Jason Kidd as somebody with actual expectations that maybe we should have, that he should play.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think that's my only expectation for Josh Green is that he's going to get some playing time. There's going to be, growth moments for sure, because it's essentially a rookie year for these guys. I don't know if we count last year as rookie year. Now they got some experience. They got to watch. They got to play a little bit when guys were out with COVID and all that. They had, the playoffs to sit and watch and experience and see all that. So there's some, there's at least a base there, but we don't really know what to expect from Josh Green. Somebody was asking me earlier, the Mavs don't have any fours. And I was like, man, if Josh Green was literally 3 inches taller, he would have such a path to some playing time at that 4 position if they wanted to go small. And if he can prove he can play and be strong enough, which I think he might be, he's pretty built. Like, if he's strong enough to guard some of those fours, like a PJ Tucker or even an Eric Gordon guy that can guard some bigger players just because they're so stout and strong, like they can hold their own, then maybe he can play some minutes at the 4. He'd be really small for at 6'5", but freaking PJ Tucker plays that role. He's a very unique player, but
I don't worry about the who plays the 4 for the Mavs thing, because Luka kind of guards 4s sometimes. Like, Luka's not checking other teams' point guards, even though he's playing the point for on offense. So Luka takes some of those 4s a lot of time. I mean, you still have Dorian, you still have Maxey, so I'm not.
Yeah. But there's just a spot there. There's a path there better than the path at 3 right now for me.
Yeah.
Or especially at 2.
Why is there a debate about tobacco?
Our chat always has debates.
Literally, the second to last chest is get more toxins in 1 hour. Hookah is like 100 cigarettes.
Our chat is
what is going on?
Yeah, I have no idea. But Moses Brown, we're still talking about expectations for young guys. For Moses Brown, to me, I think he could emerge because he has more physical tools than all the rest of the guys on the roster as far as centers go. If Luka has turned Dwight Powell into this, if Moses Brown can apply himself and be like a good student like Dwight Powell is, he can take him, he could go to a completely other level, I think, with him. So I'll be interested to see if they try and experiment with some Moses Brown and Luka minutes a little bit earlier than even Josh Green. All right, this is a fun
experiment with Moses Brown and Luka. Interesting.
Why?
I guess, yeah. I think that would get the best version. I don't know. I think the flyer of Moses Brown is a lot of fun. I just get kind of skeptical of hey, we got to turn him into the next Tyson Chandler.
Wait, hold on.
Guys, I know that Luka smokes hookah. I get it. I know that. I'm just asking why the levels of tobacco are being debated in the YouTube chat.
Do we have to do that?
All I want to know.
Luka Doncic. But with Moses Brown, I'm saying experiment. They just try it. They throw it out there every once in a while, once a week or something. I'm not saying they do it consistently, but every 3 games or so, when Dwight Powell would normally come in for his backup center minutes, maybe they throw in Moses Brown if it's a better matchup, just to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
Right. So that's my thought on it. Okay. I like this question. This is from our friend Matthew Nope, longtime listener. Over under 15 and a half technicals for Luka this year.
What did he have last year? 13?
Don't make me look it up in the middle of it. Dang it. I gotta
under. I'll take the under on this. I think he gets a little I think CBA Mavs, what's up? I think he matures a little bit in this area. And I think he's under. Let's set a mark on it.
I think he had 15 last year. I think that was the number.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll take the under.
Is he going to get more? Is he going to get more technicals than last year?
No, under.
There's more games. There's 10 more games. I'm going over on this one.
I'll still take the under. This is one of the few categories that he and the team have openly said this is one of the areas you have to get better at. And
he's openly admitted after games.
Exactly. So that free throws, we know. So I'm hoping this is one of the areas.
But should it be a point of contention for him? Do we want him? This is the debate we kind of had last year. Don't you want him to be in the game to be, real competitive, ultra competitive, like, not want anything to get in the way of winning. And so he just, fights for just literally everything. And when he does that, he fights with refs a lot, and that's what gets him in trouble, gets him the technicals. Don't you want that kind of mentality? I'm interested to see, and a little nervous to see if he chills back on that, then maybe he doesn't know how to channel that into more competitiveness on the court, and maybe he just, becomes more passive.
No, I don't think he'll ever be passive. I just think it just comes into the whole, like, you can see it. Like, I feel like at times you saw him kind of process in his brain, like when he started to argue, it's like, all right, I gotta walk away. And it's those moments, like you can be passionate and be all into the game, but be able to flip that switch. You're like, I know I'm getting there now. I need to pull back. A great comment on YouTube and with a great username, Dirk Owns LeBron. Hats off to you. Says, I think having Igor around will help Luka keep his cool, not be as immature. I wouldn't use maturity or like immature in this scenario, but I do think that's a point to be made, that with Igor around.
I know I am the Jared Dudley apologist.
Oh no.
This is Jared Dudley's role right here. Right? Like this is him as the superstar whisperer kind of deal.
Hey, I'm calling Dudley right now.
Go ahead.
Good morning,
Hey,
Isaac.
Hey, Dud.
Good morning,
Dud.
Isaac.
Duds, can you come on board to I need you to help Luka not get texts.
Shut it down!
No, but I think that he's supposed to come in and help that. I think this is a situation. I think that he can provide some insight. He's played with great guys. He's played with LeBron. He's played with.
Hey, if he's played with LeBron, he definitely knows how to help a player not complain.
Played with Steve Nash. He didn't do a good job last year, did he? I think that's what Dudley's gonna be. But Igor could help too, and I think the one that would help the most, I think, is Dragic. If the Mavs still, should I drink every time we mention Dragic on the podcast? If Dragic could come in and help him with this, that would be huge too, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Lots more questions. We got so much stuff. We have a bunch of questions about the Mavericks going forward, about the Mavericks end of the bench stuff. We got some Trey Burke questions. We got some more questions about hookah and lots of things like that. We'll get into some more coming up.
Garris?
Man, haven't heard that name in a while. Should we drink for that too? But before we do, let me tell you about Built Bar. Built Bar is a protein bar that tastes like a candy bar. They're absolutely great. We love them all the time. And right now, they have a new bar, Mint Marshmallow Puff. They got some marshmallow in there. It's delicious. Got the little hint of mint. I love the mint bars. Mint bars are great. They also have Banana Cream Puff. If you want a bar with 100% chocolate with marshmallow filling that is only 5 grams of sugar. Like, I just listed all that stuff. You'd think I was talking about a candy bar. This bar has 130 calories, 17 grams of protein, 5 grams of sugar. You're not going to get that anywhere else. You really aren't. And we eat these all the time. I actually have a puff right here. Boom. This is the coconut puff. They're delicious. They got.
How'd you get those and I didn't?
I ordered them. I buy these products. I like them. That's the biggest endorsement I can give. The money I make off this podcast, I put it back into the economy of this podcast and buy these Built Bars using the promo code LOCKED15, and I get 15%.
That's a lot of boxes.
Also, want to tell you about BetOnline. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to put down some money on your Baltimore Ravens, your Dallas Cowboys, your Cincinnati Bengals, whoever you want. If you are looking at my Bengals, they are a 1-point now underdog to the Chicago Bears. It was like three points or something like that. Not feeling the Chicago Bears, I guess, bet online. But you can bet on so many things. They have props. They have, in-game bets. They have first quarter bets, halftime bets. Like, if you want to bet on like almost literally anything, you can go in and check that out. They have some game props. Let's look at the Dallas Cowboys at LA Chargers. Some of the props in here. Longest field goal, over under 47.5 yards. Longest field goal in a Cowboys-Chargers game. You can bet on that if you want. Exact touchdowns. Touchdown total. Score in the first 5 minutes. Team to commit the first penalty, Dallas Cowboys, -115. All that stuff you can bet on BetOnline. Use the promo code LOCKEDON, or you can go in and use the promo code NFL. You can go use the promo code NFL100 to get a 100% welcome bonus. So you can go use that promo code if you want as well, or use the promo code LOCKEDON. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. All right, Isaac Harris, let's get into some more questions here. We got some more questions about. Let's do this one from Bates, our friend Bates. Where is Sterling Brown going to fit into the lineup? I feel like no one is talking about him. where should he be in the rotation?
Well, I don't think he's starting, so I just think he comes off the bench. And yeah, I mean, is he the seventh man off the? I mean, okay, let's just do the starters real quick. Luka, KP, Tim, Dorian. Let's just stay Bullock.
Tim, Dorian, KP, Luka, and the flex spot, right? It's the Reggie Bullock, Maxi Kleber. We'll see how. So if they want to, Kid feels about it.
Yeah, if they want to go small, then it helps Sterling Brown because then Bullock starts. I think that should be the starting lineup. So then off the bench, who do you have? You have Brunson, you have Maxi, you have Dwight Powell, you have Sterling Brown. I think another training camp battle that, we talked about the three guards a little bit ago, but I'm looking at Sterling Brown versus Josh Green. Like who I want to see that battle in camp. Yep. Sterling Brown, the better shooter. Josh Green is, more athletic. Does Josh Green make a leap? Does Sterling Brown are we discouraged any if Sterling Brown gets all of Josh Green's minutes? Do we look at it and be like, man, Sterling Brown, great signing? Or do we look at it and say, dang, Josh Green couldn't even get some of Sterling Brown's minutes? That's just a battle I'm watching.
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting. And you hope that whoever is winning those minutes is winning those minutes, right? And not just like reluctantly being given those minutes because the other one is just playing so poorly between Sterling Brown and Josh Green. But that is the big battle, I think, because you got Dorian, you got Reggie Bullock, you got Tim Hardaway. Honestly, you got Luka and Brunson. Like, you're taking up a lot of guard and wing minutes with those guys. Taking up a lot of those minutes. So Sterling Brown comes in. And then, with Josh Green, can you play them together? Josh Green is still kind of an enigma because of the three-point shot. How exactly do you play him? Who do you play him with?
Well, if they're playing together, you definitely need, either Luka or Brunson on the floor. But
for sure. But you're defending pretty well at that point, I think, with Josh Green and Sterling Brown. You got some 2-6-5 guys that can get out and defend. Sterling Brown also has been around a little bit. He's played in some playoffs. He played in a playoff run with Milwaukee. It started some games for him. So it's maybe some experience that Jason Kidd might lean on earlier in the year. And then later in the year, Josh Green maybe earns some more and earns the trust of Jason Kidd. That's something I'm looking out for.
Yeah, for sure.
This is a good question from David Taylor. We've been talking about KP a little bit. And David Taylor wants to know, do you think Kidd will want to play through KP with Luka on the bench? So I take this question as Kidd wants KP to get going. He wants him to get back to where he was in New York City. He wants him to get back to all-star form, get his offense going, all that kind of stuff. Doesn't want him to just be relegated to the corner like he was in the playoffs. How does he do that? What's the machination for Jason Kidd to get KP going? Is it only when Luka's on the bench?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think the answer to this question is we just don't know because we don't know what Kidd's going to do. We don't know. We know Kidd wants to play better defense. We know Kidd wants to put the ball in Luka's hands. We know Kidd wants to play fast. Outside of that, we don't know. We don't know about lineup stuff. If he comes out and starts Sterling Brown as the fifth guy and Bullock and Dwight Powell come off the bench,
like a Courtney Lee thing from a couple of years ago.
Like, are you shocked? Like, I don't know if we could say shocked because we don't know what Jason Kidd wants to do. But how do you play through KP? I think it's talking with KP. How does he feel? How does he feel coming off screens? Is he moving well enough to be able to come off screens like a 7'3", Klay Thompson? Is he better in the post? Can you get him the ball coming off a little screen where he gets the ball around the elbow? Can he hit that shot consistently? What is his spot? Like, can we get him to whatever his spots are, whether that's, him moving off the ball or whatever. So, I mean, you would hope that's the idea, right? You would hope that they can, stagger their minutes. Luka goes to the bench if they don't have that secondary creator yet. And you're like, all right, KP, you're on the floor when Luka's sitting down. We're going to get you buckets and run the offense through you. That's what you hope. That's what you want.
And let's be clear, Luka's or KP's spots are like that mid post area, right? Or like catch and shoot, basically long two. So he's back to the basket or facing up from those areas, or it's like the mid post and then just like the mid range area, but it's not pulling up from mid range. It is catching and shoot from mid range, or the drives that he can do around bigger players that are slower than him. There's not many of those guys left, but those are his spots right there. And so, can he get him going there with Luka on the court? It's a little bit harder. So I think David might be onto something. He may try to play through KP. We wish they could have gotten a secondary creator, somebody that was a little more pass first to help KP do that. But Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think if we see something similar to what Carlisle tried to do last year, you try to get KP like, 5 of the first 10 shots, basically is what Carlisle tried to do to get KP going. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't.
Yeah, that's something I'm wondering too, how long that leash will be. Zachary says in the chat, he says, am I the only one that's terrified that Kid is going to try to create a new offense featuring, a lot more Porzingis post-ups? And it's like, do they swing so far of saying, man, we have to make KP work? That and I just want to believe that when you have Luka Doncic, like, I get that sentiment, I get that you wanting to do that, but if something isn't working, Luka's going to let you know that if it's not working.
He let them know that about the analytics guy. He's not going to hold his tongue, right? Like
I'm not scared, Zach, because you got Luka, and Luka's pretty outspoken.
All right, here we go. This is a good one from Zach. Another good question. Would the Mavericks have been in the NBA Finals if Bubble KP was playing in this year's playoffs? Let's remind everybody what Bubble KP looked like. He was like
KP.
He was a kind of a next level. The 3 games he played against the Clippers, he scored 14 points, 23 points, and 34 points. Like he dropped basically 30 points the last 2 games against the Clippers.
Yeah.
Basically same team. If Bubble KP was there with and he hit 3 threes in the first game, 5 threes in game 3. I'm not sure, man. If he would have showed up a little bit more, because the margin of error for the Mavericks in that series against Clippers was so small. They went to game 7. It took Kawhi scoring 50, 40, whatever he scored in game 7 to get them over the top. I'm saying, I'm not sure about finals. They definitely would have got past the Clippers. And then,
yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think they definitely beat the Clippers, but I don't know if they make it to the finals.
Yeah, that'd be hard. That'd be pretty hard. And Bubble KP, it's just kind of funny. It was 5 games outside of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Add these. But those 5 games, he was 29 points a game, 8 boards, couple assists, block and a half, shooting 38% from 3. That's a pretty good 5 stretch of games.
Yeah.
And that's what you got in the playoffs, right? Like just a couple games here and there. All right,
let's rapid fire through something.
Yeah, well, we're about to end here, so we'll grab one more and then let's rapid fire through some. Here's the last one we'll hit here. This is from Chechi. Can we boo Rick when we go to Indiana? What's the etiquette? If you're gonna go to Indiana, or if Indiana comes to play the Mavericks, do you boo Rick Carlisle?
No.
No.
Do you boo Rick Carlisle? No.
He left.
Yeah, he left.
They booed James Harden. They booed Kevin Durant.
You're not booing Rick Carlisle.
You're not? Not at all.
Some
people will boo Rick Carlisle.
You know how I feel, and I'm not gonna boo Rick Carlisle.
So that's saying, for people that don't know, that's saying a lot. That even Isaac wouldn't boo Rick Carlisle.
No. I'm just saying, like, he brought the only title. I mean, he helped bring the only title here. He spent 13 seasons here. Like, you don't want to go back to my old girlfriend.
So the Indiana game at Indiana is December 10th. That's a Friday. And then home against Indiana is January 29th. That's a Saturday. So if you want to boo Rick Carlisle, if you're into that kind of stuff, that's probably your day. January 29th. Write that on your calendar.
Well, there's a handful of people in the chat that are really going to boo him. I'm kind of surprised by that.
I'm not. You leave, you get booed. That's kind of the deal. You bail on the team, you get booed. Because Cuban was very clear that he did not fire Rick Carlisle.
Did you want him to stay?
Oh yes, yeah. You know where I was before this. Even with all the stuff with all the other things around Rick Carlisle, I would much rather have the sure thing, great X's and O's coach than the unknown, and then what the unknown turned into for me. Personally.
All right, we still recording the pod, or?
All right, there you go, guys. If you're on the live stream, stick around. We'll be answering some more questions. Start getting in your love and dating and life advice questions. We love those. The specificer, the better, if that's a word. So stick around on the stream. But guys, on the podcast, thanks so much. We'll be back tomorrow with the Game Pod. Thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom. Okay, let's go. What up? Well, this is my favorite. This one right here. Where is it? Flimmer. Flimmer, I'm not booing Jim Carrey.
Okay.
Oh, the GOAT, Josh Lloyd, is in the chat. Let's go.
Josh has been here a little bit. Somebody asked a question a little bit ago saying, who's going to have the better season, the Mavs or the Cowboys? And Josh replied with, well, the Mavs are going to win more games. And I laughed on the inside.
That's just a numbers game, basically.
Let's wrap it through some. Okay, here's the deal. We'll wrap it through some of these Mavs questions.
All right, click them though, so we can both see, so everybody can see.
And then while we do this is the chance. We do this every week to do some Locked On Life, Locked On Love. Shout out to Ryan Russillo for doing his life advice.
We're definitely stealing it from
so
him.
This is a spinoff from that, but send in a specific situation. It's either, it can be dating, it can be friendship, it can be college, it can be family, whatever you want to throw at it. Say, hey, I'm kind of stuck. I don't know what to do in this. Or you made a decision on something. You're like, man, was I in the right or wrong? So send it in. We'll be honest. We'll give you some advice on something, and we'll just talk about it and laugh at each other.
Shout to Josh Lloyd. Here, you want to rapid fire through some like basketball questions before?
As people throw in some.
All right, Halaluka says, any chance Rick comes on the pod? That's a rapid fire question.
That's never happening.
Question from Will Peter. I think we should take on John Wall for a first-round pick or a young player. Would you guys do that?
Do we need to have the John Wall conversation this week on the pod?
You get paid a first-round pick or a young player to take on John Wall.
I don't know. I'm kind of surprised there are people who kind of want John Wall. I would rather swing at KP, like another season of KP before this John Wall stuff.
Another Halaluka question: is Built Bar overrated?
No,
it's not.
No,
okay.
It's actually pretty good. We're not even on the pod right now, and we're telling you it's actually pretty good. Why was James Ennis mentioned multiple times in this chat? 31-year-old James Ennis. I don't understand why are we wanting James Ennis on this team? Poku mentioned multiple times.
Love Poku.
Matthew says, "Are you out on the Ravens this year, Isaac?" Okay.
How are you feeling about your Ravens?
I was scared going into the season. They had a lot of stuff that happened, like training camp, everything, COVID. Then the injuries happened. Y'all know all the injuries that happened. So I was already scared. I'm even more scared now. I don't have high hopes for this team, but I love Lamar. I love Lamar Jackson more than anybody in the NFL, and I will tune in for every Ravens game to watch him.
Josh Lloyd says, "Locked On Mavs After Dark." That's exactly what this is.
Yes, it is. Welcome,
exactly what this
welcome,
is.
Josh.
Okay.
Do we have? I haven't even looked at the actual Roddy B getting some love.
All right, here's one Locked On Love question we can dig our teeth into a little bit. Alex says, "How do you get over somebody you thought was the one?"
Well. How do you get over that person? I mean, that's so hard. I think it goes into the, we've talked about this before over the past few weeks of if you're a believer in the one or not. Like, neither one of us are a believer in, right? I think we're both on the same page.
Like soulmates. Yeah,
soulmates. There's one person out there for you. And
I don't think either of us.
I think if you shift your mindset on that, then it kind of helps the recovery of the heartbreak. Some of like, if you're stepping away from it saying, man, that was the only person for me, life's miserable now, then that kind of like that sucks. But if you can shift your mindset into, okay, like that didn't work out, but man, let's see, let's move on from here. And it's like, how do you get over them? And go have fun, like stay busy. And what?
Nothing.
What? What you looking at me
like
that?
Get over the one. Go have fun. Go.
Well, he's saying, how do you get over the? I mean, I wouldn't sit at home watching The Notebook. I would get out, go have fun.
Ryan Gosling's just gonna make you feel feelings, right?
If you try something new, learn a new hobby, start getting gain some confidence. I think that's the thing. Go do something that will give you some confidence because you're down on yourself right now, probably, and go do something that you can get a little self-confidence in your system.
You got to move forward, right? You have to accept the thing that happened to you and accept, that person decided not to be with you for whatever reason, or even you decided not to be with that person, and understand that you probably made a good choice because you went through it. You went through a process. If you didn't make it lightly because you thought it was the one. And so be confident in your decision, or be confident that, you can move on. Guess what? There's a billion people there's billions of people in the world, right? Get out there, find somebody, there's more fish in the sea, I guess is what you want to say. But it's tough to get over. We'll talk about it lightly on here, but we're not trying to keep it all, it's not that light of a topic. Have you had to get over somebody?
Have I had to? I mean, Barb and we met in high school, so I haven't had had a girlfriend in like early high school, but Barb and I, we've been together for a while. So
give us some more scenarios, some more thoughts. This is Locked On Love.
I thought we had some
Locked On Dating. Grab some. I don't see any in front of me.
I don't want to talk about Ben Simmons right now. Are you going to recommend keto to Luka? No, I'm not.
Here we go. This is one. This is from Jay. How do you convince your wife that playing video games is not childish, but a stress reliever?
How do you convince your... Oh man, this is good. Okay, so one, you're talking to somebody who still has an Xbox. And for me, I'm from Kentucky, so I live across the country from a lot of my like childhood, friends growing up. And it's like our way of like, you got to have these set things that in your marriage that is your time, right? Like my wife has her things that like she will either go out and do her thing. Like she goes shopping, or she wants to go get a mani-pedi somewhere. I'm like, I'm going to watch the kids, or she wants to watch her Brazilian TV shows at home. It's like, all right, that's her thing she likes to do. I think if you just set those general like guidelines, then who cares what goes into that, right? I mean, in a respectful way, like me setting down is like, hey, one of the things that helps me recharge and to where it's just a brain dump for me is let me turn on my Xbox and play Rocket League for an hour or two with some buddies back home, or do a fantasy draft on 2K. I don't care if it's video games or not. We all need that time away from like our jobs and everything to just like not think about anything super important.
Yeah, you got to communicate. You got to communicate when you need time. And when you need time, it doesn't matter what you do, right? Because, obviously, if it's not hurting the other person, if the video games are not hurting somebody else, if you're spending hours and hours and hours, then you probably haven't communicated because your partner probably has needs too that you're not meeting if you're playing video games for hours and hours. So as long as you communicate, I need some time, some me time, whatever you do in that time, the other person should respect. And then the same for you. There's probably things that she does that you're like, that's stupid, blah, blah, blah. But
yeah,
if you allow them to have your time, then you gotta have that.
I got one.
Here we go. Let's go.
This was a little earlier from Zach. Zach says, I am about to go through grad school and leave my hometown. Should I wait to seek a relationship until after, or try to maintain a long distance relationship after I leave in a few months? I have a really simple answer on this. You don't ever close the door on love. Ever. Ever. Don't ever do it. You're listening to a guy who
Let's go.
I was with high schoolers for a while and doing some church stuff. And I feel like I had this conversation every year of like a couple, that were dating, seniors in high school. Like, oh, we're about to go to A&M. I'm about to go to UT. I'm about to go. Like, should we break up because we're going to college? I'm like, why not give it a chance? Like, just give it a chance. Like, why are you trying to decide this? Because now the odds are not in your favor. We're not being like, I'm not being dumb about this. Like, the odds are not in your favor, but don't break up just because of distance. So my man, Zach, if you got a girl right now that you're interested in and she's interested in you, and the only thing that's holding you back is the fact that you're about to go to grad school, then don't let it hold you back. Give it a chance. You could be talking about your future wife and mother of your kids right here that you're saying, hey, I'm sorry, I'm going to go. I got school to go to across. Distance is going to keep us from being together. Come on. Give it a chance, Zach.
My wife and I were long distance for a while after we met, and we were part of a Christian ministry that we were not allowed to date for because of the program for a year, almost 2 years for us. And you just find out, like, we don't believe in soulmates are the one, but if you find somebody that you're really compatible with, and you get to that love stage, all of a sudden that is worth fighting for, whatever you want to call it, waiting for. It's worth the extra time, the extra distance. It's a different level when you hit that. And so, like Isaac said, don't shut the door on it. You're allowed to go and find that person. And if you do, then boom, it's worth fighting for. Then the long distance can be done. It's been done by a lot of people. We did it. We were successful in it. And then all of a sudden you have different questions and different problems, but don't let the different problems in front of you, put a wall up for what you could find in front of you that could be awesome, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. That is true with a lot of things in life. I kept thinking, damn, my job eventually, I want to be like, when I was in high school, I'm like, I want to be like Bill Simmons. Well, why would I stop saying, okay, well, I can't do this like him, or I can't do this, or I'm not going to be able to do this in my future. But instead, just go for it. Take the step, go for it. And now I'm doing this podcast, and it's my job, basically doing what Bill Simmons is doing. Yeah. I'm on a lower level than him for sure, but I didn't let the future problems stop me where I am now.
Yeah,
that's what you got to do. I got one here from Chechi again. I've been talking to this girl, but she only seems to be interested in me when we're in person. Ignores my texts, but then in person she loves me. This is true for like relationships and also for friendships, right? Because you have certain friends that'll like, if it's in person or nothing, right? Like when you're away, it's like out of sight, out of mind kind of deal. But this is a different level because it's like, seems like there's a love interest here.
All right, so a part of us doing this segment is we got to be honest. And Chechi, I'm not gonna lie, I got a little red flags sticking up in this. Just because, yeah, I mean, why is there no communication when you're not with them? That's where I would get a little skeptical of, is she trying to hide your relationship from other people?
I'm saying,
like that's the type of stuff that where I get kind of scared for you in that of why is there no communication? And if you don't know the answer to it, I think that's the problem. You need to know the answer to it because you need to have the communication, because there's no communication. Like anything that there's in a relationship to where like there's something that's rubbing you the wrong way, like bring it up. Like, hey, this is just like how I'm feeling. Like I'm like, why? I feel like we never talk. I feel like the only time you're into me is when we're in person. Bring up something. You got to communicate whenever you're feeling a certain way.
Our chat is the chat is nuts right now. John said it's time. John said it's time to hire a PI bud. She's cheating 1,000%.
I mean, I didn't want to go that far in,
but there are some people, and this happened to me in high school twice with girls that are like, just like Chechi said, they love being with you.
What was the outcome?
They love being around you, but when you're away, it's out of sight, out of mind. So what are they doing when you're not around? Is it somebody else?
Chechi's getting that text in the morning. It's like, oh man, my phone died last night, and I slept in this morning.
But when they're then all of a sudden when they're not around, they're not interested in you because they just want the attention in person, right? And so what he has to do, right? If this is something that if he believes that in person she loves me, right? If you think it's real and there's real mutual attraction there, and then all of a sudden, it could be a relationship. You got to define the relationship.
Yeah.
You got to define it, because then if you're exclusive, then you got to figure out why she doesn't text you. Carl, I think somebody mentioned, I think it was Carly, said that some people are just bad at texting. That's true. All the
Very
stuff
true.
about cheating and other guys and all that may not be true. It may just be bad at texting. But you still have to define the relationship, because it doesn't seem like you know where it is right now, right? Like,
yeah, that's a good point.
All right, mine growing up or right now. It is Lockdown After Dark.
Are we allowed to have one right now?
I don't know.
I had two. I had Michelle Rodriguez.
Okay.
Fast and Furious, and like if we're going like entertainer or like singer route, Shakira.
You had categories.
So if we go another route, if we go the athlete.
What about religious figure route?
Politician.
Oh, mine 100% was Hillary Duff. Lizzie McGuire. That's the only reason to watch that show. This is like middle school, high school.
I still don't know if that's a good reason to watch that show.
Why not?
Just
That show
because
broke grounds on the way that those sitcoms were shot.
Zach said Nicole Kidman. That's a first. I don't.
How old is Zach?
Freddie, hi from
Matthew wants to know. Hold on, we need to put this one in there.
Oh no.
No, wait.
No.
Matt, that was an amazing question.
It's not tiers, it's categories. Get it right, Matthew.
No, you have tiers for everything. You put all teams into tiers.
I do. Greg Halle Berry is very pretty.
Jordan said April from Parks and Rec.
Zach says he's 19 and his celebrity crush is Nicole Kidman. Bro, she could be like your grandma.
Well, the thing about a celebrity crush is that you don't know which era you're watching them in, right?
That's true.
And whatever like media or thing you're watching them in, that's what age they are to you, right?
Yeah.
So,
I'm now seeing the chat of for Chechi. Oh man, Chechi, man.
John said John Stamos.
my guy Chechi put I kind of feel bad for him. He put the emoji of him crying.
Oh. Hey, there's still hope in there though. Define the relationship. Figure out what it is. Get an answer, because the longer you hold it out, the more you get involved in it, and the more it's not,
Yeah. Fat Lucas says my wife and I are having our first kid, and gender reveal is this Sunday.
Avoid fire at all costs, please. We don't.
Yeah.
We don't need that.
Shout out to you having a gender reveal. Can you put in the chat how you're doing a gender reveal? I would personally like to know that.
I'm sorry. Henry said his celebrity crush is Kelly Oubre. I understand.
Surprised you didn't say LeBron. If it's a boy, what are the odds I get the approval of one of the following names? Nash, Dirk, Luke. Luke A?
Luke A. Like Luke Adam.
Don't do that. Please don't. Odds you get the approval? Probably very slim.
You have to play it like it's not an NBA player. Like that's not the pitch, right? If you want any chance at all, that's not the pitch. Is that it is after my favorite NBA player.
Honey, listen. You know where I want to take you for our when we've been married for 50 years. I want to take you to Nashville, and because of that goal, and because that mindset that Nashville means a happy long marriage with you, then I want to name our kid Nash. Because it will remind us of the committed love we have for each other that's going to last 50 years. I just made your whole pitch. There you go.
Wow.
Will says, I love you, boys. Love you too, Will.
Man, I love these. I love the
we have, I think we have more people in the chat right now. More people watching. We have more people watching than during the pod.
Oh, man. We got any more questions? Anybody got more questions? Specific stuff?
Yeah. Any more specific questions, Jordan? I don't know when Gallagher's video is dropping.
Yeah, we don't know. That's a little secret there.
I don't know that. Where's the like and subscribe? If y'all want to see Chechi find true love, like and subscribe to this podcast. Chechi, you got to come back next Wednesday and keep us updated.
Carly's in here asking NBA questions. We're past the NBA stuff.
And there's no way. Wait, who's asking? You said Carly?
Yeah.
I'm not seeing Carly in there.
Well, now I got to pull it up. How many years into Luka's contract do you think that he will decide to stay for the long haul?
He's probably already decided.
If he's going to stay longer than the contract?
No, I give it.
He hasn't decided what he's going to do tomorrow.
I'd say sometime in the next 3 years.
Interesting. Jordan says that wife said we could do the Luka as the middle name, so I consider it a win.
No. Wow. That's it.
David said, what's your Mavs reporter tiers?
Not stepping into that water.
Dwayne Price, number one. Dwayne Price has the greatest shoes on earth. His shoe closet is on another level.
Dwayne's always the nicest dude walking in. Hey, Isaac, how you doing? Dwayne's awesome.
Pizza rolls or Hot Pockets?
Pizza rolls. I think so.
They both
Dude,
they both disappoint me, to be honest. Like anytime I choose one, I'm disappointed in the other.
Here's the thing. I feel like I've burnt my mouth more on Hot Pockets. Where it's like you take that bite and like, dang, like your taste buds are ruined for like 2 days.
I appreciate that Hot Pockets tried the crisper like packaging on the outside though. They at least tried to innovate. Pizza Rolls is like, hey,
yeah,
we know it. We know you're trash, and we know you're ready to eat these.
Ricardo,
no like.
amen, amen, Ricardo.
Mark. Oh,
my little hometown in Kentucky, we had this like Godfather's pizza roll like attached to a gas station, and it was like the spot for my guys in high school. We would stop in there and get these pizza rolls. They were amazing, and it's like, let's go after school, after practice.
If you could add one concession food item at the AAC, what would it be? This is my soapbox. I'm going on this soapbox. The Fletcher's corn dogs that you get at the state fair need to be everywhere. They need to be at Cowboys games. They need to be at Mavs games. They need to be at everywhere. Like it needs to be. That needs to be a staple everywhere.
Yeah,
and it's not.
Why
do they only serve those at the state fair?
I got you, and I don't want to like health juke you here, kind of like Jesus juke, but health juke. Fruit, I would prefer some fruit at some Mavs games. I would just like something that just doesn't make you feel like crap, and
like a banana.
Yeah, a banana. Is there just? I just feel like I'm always trying to find something. Like if I go from one job to a game and I can't get food in between, I'm like just trying to find something, and it's like, man, going to get a breadstick at Pizza Hut. Bates says Built Bars at AAC. I've ate plenty of.
Matthew says that a built banana. Oh man! All right, what else we got? We got any more last second questions?
Any more questions about life or friendship?
Henry's right. They're gonna charge $50 for a strawberry.
Okay, that's true.
At least if I'm paying for like a $10 corn dog, I know it's gonna be like straight fire.
Why are people telling me good morning, Isaac? I don't understand this.
You don't understand? How do you not understand?
I understand that, Jason.
Good morning, Isaac.
What flavor of hookah did Luka order? Grape. Sources say grape.
Isaac finna eat kale at the AAC. Oh my gosh, this is the greatest idea.
Oh no.
Zach says the AAC needs a burrito cannon.
I will push a kid over for a burrito coming out of the cannon.
I think maybe this is James' idea. I'll give James credit.
Oh, let's go, James.
All right. Anything else? Any other questions?
I'm about to wrap it up. It's 11:45. My wife's in bed waiting.
Yeah. The video games is one thing. The hour-long podcast maybe is
talking about burrito cannons. She'll be like, hey, babe, what did y'all talk about tonight? Burrito cannons. Chechi, worrying about his girl who never texts back. Yeah.
All right, there you go.
Chechi, I'm not gonna lie. If you're on Twitter, shoot a DM or something. I kind of feel for you, and I'm gonna be thinking about I'm gonna be thinking about your situation. Oh, look at Aaron, boy, Noichi, bro.
Josh, I can't believe Josh Lloyd is still here.
Is he still here?
Yeah, he said burrito cannon. Sounds like a euphemism.
Jordan, get off my mic. Get off my volume. You're the only person that's ever complained about it.
Is your volume too high?
No.
What we use for this does not allow us to. Okay. All right. There you go. Guys,
he's
thanks
complaining
so much.
that my volume's not very loud.
Oh, I boosted it so much. All right. Guys, appreciate you jumping on. We'll be back tomorrow with the Game Pod. Thanks for hanging out.
See you guys. Good night, Isaac.
Good morning, Isaac.
Peace out.
See ya. Good. Have a good day, Josh.
How do we end this show?
Good morning. Good morning, Josh.
End the show.
I don't know what to do.
Say peace out.
Oh, sorry. Peace out.
Boom.